Getting in the zone. Getting in the zone.
Smash, 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 smash,
Jeff,
smash, smash,
Jeff,
smash, smash.
Jeff,
Yes! Yes!
Need one of those buttons.
What kind of riding were you up to this weekend? Were you doing the Chief Lunes ride?
Ooh, yeah, they put on this sweet cyclocross race that went off the LA River Path, and they basically turned these hiking trails and this bridge crossing way into their very own dirt racetrack, and you just looped it. They just looped it 5 laps. You had to go over a bridge and then go down these 3 sets of stairs that look like the scariest thing ever, but then you get to it and you ride it and you're like, oh, that wasn't that bad. I got this. And then you just haul ass on the flat, straight sections. But yeah, every time you go through the tunnel, the bridge, the freeway underpass,
Yeah.
you that's where everybody's hanging out in the shade because it's so hot in LA. So
Yeah, for sure.
they just have a DJ, a sound booth. They have people bringing all sorts of bikes, freak bikes, fixies. There was even kids, people brought their kids and had them race with us.
What? That's awesome.
They're tiny bikes. People with their dogs and yeah, it's cool. You saw so many different people come out. I thought it was, I dare say, more than the amount of people that show up to sanctioned races.
Wow.
It was a big showing.
Yeah, it looked like a really strong group.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And then, what else? What'd you do this weekend?
I did.
Did you go riding?
I did, yeah. My big ride was on Friday.
Yeah.
And I did the Rapha Compass challenge.
Ooh.
So they had set up, they did this kind of distanced group event idea.
Mm-hmm.
So they set up points in every major city, and you were supposed to hit them throughout the week to complete this compass challenge.
Ooh.
And so we went out and did all 4 checkpoints in one ride.
Wait,
so we
what?
did.
You didn't have you didn't want to space out all throughout the week?
No.
What?
That's the kind of thing I want to clump all those together.
Yeah, but wait, it's not a race, it's a challenge.
No.
So it's more explore this area.
Yep. But then we took that and we were like, let's explore it and also make it the biggest ride possible.
Wow.
So we did the top of the Hollywood sign first,
Ooh.
over to Sullivan Canyon,
Okay.
and then over
Not the
to
dirt, right? All road.
It was kind of dirt. It was
the
dirt
fire
and
road?
then fire road for a little while, and then if we would have kept going, which we didn't have to, it would have been more dirt after that.
Oh wow, yeah. I don't know.
And then after that, we went over to the top of Latigo in Malibu.
Ooh.
And then we went down to Randy's Donuts in Inglewood, which I had never
From
heard of before.
Malibu?
Yeah,
Malibu to Inglewood, no biggie.
yeah, Malibu to Inglewood. So it was a long route. Panda put this route together, and it was the longest and most climbing way to hit all these checkpoints.
Of course you'd want to hit all the climbing.
All the climbing, I posted it, and somebody was taking the hard way. And I was like, yes, we did.
What time did you start this alley cat at?
I rolled out my door at 5:30 a.m.
Ooh, and when did you get back to said door?
like 5 p.m., maybe 4.
What?
Yeah, it was a long day.
Okay, and then what was the distance and elevation on it?
We did about 125 miles
Oof,
and a
no.
little under 11,000 feet.
That what? 11,000 feet?
Yeah. The way that most people put that route together was under around 8,000. Somehow we found an extra 3,000 feet in there.
We're let's just really drive it home.
Let's just go for it. So Smaish, what are we doing? what are we going to do with this thing?
So this, I think is a great time with COVID happening to do podcasts. Everyone's listening, but
Listen to us.
the thing is, man, we're part of some really cool culture in LA, and like living in Southern California, just the amount of people we've run into, the places we've seen, the adventures we've gone on, stupid things we probably should never do again. The lessons learned.
Got some stories.
Definitely got some stories. And I feel like you got some good knowledge.
Yeah, and definitely have had my share of adventures around Los Angeles.
And
I've-
coming in from like out of state into LA as like a new cyclist.
Yeah, this was like the second culture I sort of dove into. So I got to sort of see some of the contrasts, and I saw a lot of things that I really, really liked around Los Angeles. And it definitely helped me build my connection to cycling and become a better cyclist. Really, the only reason that I can do the things that I do on a bike is because I was lucky enough to land in Los Angeles.
Yeah. It's like a hidden gem. Like there's not much like ground coverage, I guess, of like people talking about how great the scene is here. Such a melting pot in so many ways living in Los Angeles. And yeah, like this weekend doing track lacrosse, and then I led a women's climbing ride on Saturday. Like that you could do that in the same weekend, these two like group ride for like,
So the ride you did on Saturday was one of your rides?
Yeah, so I started this women trans femme group ride over more like the east side of LA, like Silver Lake, out of this place where we used to meet up, and host women's rides like years ago through She-Wolf Attack Team. And then like that kind of like shifted once the pandemic hit, and I started working at this new awesome job that I moved to Long Beach. And so now we're doing it out of Palos Verdes. We're doing out of Redondo Beach, doing West Coast. But yeah, it's just like I showed up this Saturday. I had, messaged all the women I knew who were interested, but like none of them knew each other. And they just met up at this coffee shop outside to like chat and get to know, like, oh, what do you do? How'd you get into cycling? Like, and it just felt like girl time. Like we're just hanging out, chatting, It wasn't like bro like flex zone of like, oh yeah, you remember that time we went for that segment and then you just bust out this sick move?
You gotta take the segments, come on.
Okay, Mr. I don't do goals. I don't do Strava.
No, that it looked really fun. It looked like everybody had a really good time. Are you finding that people are like open to riding together and stuff like that? Do people take like extra precautions considering like the COVID thing?
We do wear like the masks when we're, at the meetup. And we also like stand like at least 3 feet apart from each other. But then we took a group photo and we weren't, we were like right next to each other.
We all were cozy.
Yeah, I don't know, they just met out, didn't know each other, and then we like kind of naturally split off into like pairs, people who were like roughly the same speed as one another.
Sure.
The climbers together, the like flat smashers together, the sprinters together. So, just did like a cool climb, a donut loop, literally a circular loop.
Right around Palos Verdes?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really chill. It was only like 2 hours, I think, of riding time. But we spent like an hour at the start talking and then like an hour on the ride talking.
Hour after. Yeah. Your total time was like not super great, but the ride time
The ride time was
Quality
solid.
ride time. Quality ride time.
You know, I bet if Mellingcat was a cyclist, he'd be like a strong-ass sprinter.
He better be. He would not be a climber. For sure. And he doesn't look like a GC contender. So he better be a sprinter.
Yeah. He has to be.
Big boy.
I'm going to get him a bike. Stationary bike he can Zwift next to me.
Cat bikes. Okay, cat bikes. Do cat bikes have handlebars and pedals like human bikes? Or do they have 4 sets of pedals and they just sort of like lay on their stomachs like a torpedo, right? So they're like super tucking all the time, pedaling with all 4 legs.
Huh. I mean, he seems to use both his paws equally, but they have some serious thighs. There's some serious hind legs. And he sits on his butt. Like, he just will sit, like, slouched over like a human.
Huh.
He doesn't, like... I mean, right now he's laying down, but...
Yeah.
Sometimes he'll just be, like, cleaning himself sitting, like, kind of bent over.
Oh, on the butt?
Yeah.
And they got, like, the... I know the look you're talking about.
I kind of think he would just cycle like that.
So he would have a handlebar bike.
Yeah.
I've only seen it drawn that way. Like cats on bikes, anytime I've seen it, has only been they ride bikes with handlebars.
Right, yeah.
But I would like to see a sketch of a cat with all 4 paws on pedals.
Yes.
I want to know what that looks like.
Doing the super tie.
You do design. Get on this.
I can do things.
Yeah, draw it out.
With a mouse.
So back to kind of like our connection with Los Angeles and cycling.
Yes.
My goal with something like this, with doing a podcast, is really to just try to share and grow that positivity and give it more of a voice. There's such a cool culture here, and we both just love all types of cycling. Like you literally do it all.
You keep trying to do it all on a road bike.
That's the thing, and I'm interested in doing it all, even though I mostly only do road riding. Mm-hmm. Like if you gave me a BMX bike, I would be riding a BMX bike like all the time. Like, hey Jeff, no more carbon, no more drop bars. Here's a BMX bike. I'd be like, okay, I could get with this for a while.
You could last like 1 week.
What?
Doing like structured training on a BMX.
I'd have the weirdest muscles. So strong.
You'd be trying one-legged drills on a BMX.
So I love that idea of just like a passion for the general sport. Like it's so much bigger. You know, we many times people can kind of fall into just sort of getting, you know, stuck in one scene or sort of getting in that rut of just doing one discipline. But I think it's so fun to look at it as all just one big thing. You know, mm-hmm. I love talking to fixed gear riders about the setups they're running, because it teaches me a bunch about like how gear ratios work and how to work my cadence and different ways that I can train that can sort of simulate that type of pedal stroke.
Mm-hmm. And then if you're like pushing heavier, like a slower cadence versus like spinning, working on your neuromuscular.
Yep. Neuromuscular versus cardiovascular, and how you can, so it's all the same stuff. And I think you have that same connection to cycling, where you sort of like it all interests you, and every part of it sort of gets you going.
Yeah, I saw like all of it intertwined at the tracklocross race. Like, it's a race meant for cyclocross, like gravel bikes, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's these like fixie messenger kids riding Frankenstein bikes down like stairs.
I love it.
And then like I was seeing people I met through racing, people I met through the messenger scene, and then people I met through like this party night riders group called Midnight Riders. Shout out. Shout out Midnight Riders. There's just so many different group rides through that club alone, and seeing them all hanging out under the same bridge, like under the freeway, definitely definitely a cool area we live in. Like that many different
Yeah,
like crews together.
I agree completely. It's incredible, and everybody gets together like that. So I would love to just celebrate that and maybe tell some of those stories.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what we're up to pretty regularly. I love the riding that you do.
You mean indoors on a stationary
I
bike?
love hearing about your stationary rides. I do.
I just did a video shoot. It was so sick.
You're getting out more these past few weeks though.
Oh man, I've been like surfing and skating. I've been riding.
I want to talk about that stuff too. I want to talk about CrossFit. I want to talk about challenging yourself totally. You know, I would definitely.
It's been like 100 degrees up there. I'm like, yeah,
it's been
gotta
really
adapt.
nice the last few days.
True.
Been really, really nice. But I want to definitely like talking about things like surfing. I'm sure there are ways that you notice that like improves your cycling, big picture. So let's talk about all that stuff because I think it's the same with me. I do a lot of different types of exercise, but it's all with the goal of making biking easier or faster or more comfortable. So those are always like a big part of my goals. So I want to hear about your surfing and your
I want to hear about your BMXing.
your skateboarding.
Oh, yoga. Because I've been getting more, doing some weightlifting, so I need to like cross my training.
Yeah. Well, you want to keep that. You want to keep the flexibility and the range of motion.
Yeah, I've been getting really tight from like Zwift racing, riding. It's like just intensity when you do it.
Yeah.
Full on, all gas. Or just like a hard enough effort. And then, just gym weights. Like not even like that heavy, just trying to get back in the flow of it.
Yeah.
And then doing flow yoga, vinyasa.
That's awesome.
Just lots of stretching and foam rolling. Should be doing right now.
That's so good. I think another part, not just talking about workouts, but talking about recovery too. I mean, there's one of the biggest parts of what should be one of the biggest parts of probably all of our lives.
Yeah, I forget who I was telling.
Intentional, structured recovery to get the goals that you want.
I'm like, I think I've been doing better lately because I've been recovering more. Like
you can notice.
Yeah, I was like not really like upping my fitness, but almost like decreasing the amount of riding I'm doing and doing different kind of sports and recovering more, having more recovery time.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, I can cycle faster than I thought I could.
Yeah. Sometimes it's about where you spend your fitness, not about spending the most, you know?
Yeah. Like training with the roadies out here in Long Beach, and they're like doing crit practice, like pacing at, I think they're pacing at like 29.
That's too fast.
Too fast.
Slow down, guys.
I mean, it's like, okay, maybe if I sprint right now at this perfect moment in time, I'll catch on to them and hang on for most of this lap.
The costs are so high.
Yeah.
That's awesome, though. It's good to ride with
like
faster.
Crazy.
Sometimes it's good to ride with faster people.
Yeah. Did the same thing on Saturday night. One of the men's amateur roadie teams, Team Flex, FLX, shout out.
Shout out Team Flex.
They threw a barbecue and hour of power training laps at the same Peloton like training area where I did the 29. Okay. Except luckily the guys went a little bit slower because it was like a smaller group. And then they slowed down at times so that we could catch on. And we're like, okay, cool, we're in it. That I lasted a full lap.
Nice.
So really hard. But yeah, and then afterwards they had like we did a lap in memory of like one of the racers who had passed away that same day. like I think 2 years
Oh,
prior,
wow.
in a crit race that was about to be sanctioned. Yeah, hit a bump wrong.
Oh, geez.
Went OTB.
Was it somebody you knew?
No, not me
Okay.
personally. I know that course though. It's pretty technical and like in the sense of how the turns are, but also how the road conditions
Sure.
are.
Yeah, you got to know the road. So many places around here, you have to know the road.
Yeah, like we went on a lunch ride, like a company work lunch ride, and it goes around that. And then they wanted to take like a hot lap around, but like people had advised against it for a while until like the one day I decided to go to like do the long ride. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hang out with my coworkers. I do the long ride, and then we do the the Eldo crit race area, and they do a hot lap. And the next thing I know, I look down. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, we're going 28. Like, I was like tripping out because we're all racing each other. We're just going all out.
Cyclists are tinderboxes. It takes so little to get at that flame lit under everybody. Everybody. It could be an accident. You could be like, oh, I have to pull ahead because like a car is coming. And other people will see you and be like, oh, we're kicking it up.
Let's go.
Start to hear that carbon flex. And then suddenly it's game
Carbon
on.
flex.
Everybody's going 28. I believe that.
Carbon flex.
The wheel flex.
Team.
That's what I hear. I always hear the wheels first.
Oh yeah. I was teaching my homegirl how to like look out of the corner of her eye if someone's gonna attack. Because I was like, as soon as you see that front wheel out of the corner of your eye or you hear something, stand up and start sprinting for your fucking life.
That's an interesting tactic. That's another thing maybe we'll talk about sometimes too.
Track techniques.
Little pro tips. You
hear the chains grinding.
We'll hear you talk about racing, because racing has been a pretty big part of your life.
It has.
You probably won't hear me talk about racing very much, because racing has been zero part of my life. But I still like hearing about it.
I bet you'd be into roadie cross. I could see you doing that. Like gravel, but like on a road bike or a track bike.
I mean, you just described my everyday life. That's what I'm doing already, and I don't have to be anywhere at a certain time.
Oh man!
I don't like.
What are you
What
are you currently riding? Right
Currently, I'm on SpongeBob's Specialized Diverge. I finally put a 25 road tire on both wheels.
Oh,
I was riding.
Oh, gravel no more.
Gravel no more.
No more challenges.
I mean, I did that for a while. So when I first got this bike, my old Pinarello cracked, and so I'm done with that bike.
God
so
bless
Connor,
the Pinarello.
I'm gonna miss that bike so much. I love that bike. Such a good geometry, so comfortable. I did my 400-mile ride on it. Had a really great connection with that bike. But I'm borrowing SpongeBob's Diverge right now. And when I first got it, it was set up tubeless with 33 like treaded tires. And 33 is
nice.
That's big. That to me, that's enormous. I mean, that's one of the biggest tires I've ever ridden. And one of them got gashed, and so I had to take that one off, and I put a 25. So then I had a 25 millimeter in back with a 33 in front, and that was probably the weirdest bike setup I've ever ridden in my life. It was like the back tire had so much get up and go, and you felt like you could accelerate into something, but then the front tire would be like, nope, and it would feel like it was just moving at a slower speed.
It's like, I'm a couch potato. You're not gonna move me.
I'm so sloth-like. You can't move. Like like it was filled with sand in the front.
Yes.
So I had this weird, like, I don't know, not a great feel on a bike. I don't recommend it. So I finally put a 25 on it, and that's what I rode on Friday for the Compass Challenge, through all those checkpoints. So I didn't have to push it.
You must have felt so easy.
It
You're
feels
like, "I
so
can
much
fly."
faster, so much faster. There's a lot of things different. It's a one by, which the
Ooh.
gearing and back then is just crazy. It's been a really interesting bike to like get to know, but not as fast for sure.
It ain't a Pinarello, but
No, it's not. But it's been good. It's fun. And I enjoy having to learn a new bicycle. You know, something aluminum, something kind of heavy. With
change things
things
up.
up,
You know,
mix it up.
keep it
I'll
interesting.
be more fit when I'm done with this bike. I guarantee it.
Yes, that's what I tell myself when I rode heavy bikes for years.
Yeah.
I'm like, it makes you stronger.
But I think this was a really good first talk.
Yes, it was.
So we still don't know at the end of this. When we put this out, this will have a name, but we still don't know what we're calling this thing. We're really just sort of starting to paint the very broad strokes here of what this is going to be. But I'm really, really excited for it. I'm really excited that that you wanted to do this.
Call it Peach and Herb.
Peaches and Herb?
Podcast.
Are we going with Peaches and Herb?
Peaches and Herb.
Yes. Peaches and Herb.
But it's really about bikes.
Well, it's about more than bikes. Peach power. Smaish is all about the peach power.
Yes, you gotta work it.
That is definitely something we'll talk about too. I'm sure that'll be a topic that we dive into.
Yes.
All right, Smaish.
Yes. Catch you later.
Catch you soon.
Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Smaish.